our storage and test facility. Let's see what we're rolling out today. A nice shiny 2022 Lexus LC500. And this is the LC500h hybrid, not the V8. We'll be talking about that a little bit later. In the meantime, this is a sharp looking car. And limited production. I think they make a couple thousand each year for the United States. And a rear shot. If you look under the hood of a Lexus LC500, you'll find two powertrain choices. The most common is a 5.0 liter V8 putting out 471 horsepower, hooked to a 10-speed automatic transmission, doing 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds and averaging 19 miles to the gallon. This is the Lexus Hybrid Drive, second choice. A 3.5 liter V6 hybrid putting out 354 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds, and averaging 29 miles to the gallon, 26 to 34 spread claimed. We're taking this out in the real world, doing 4 fuel economy tests, a hard city driving test, a mixed commuting test, and cruising at 75 miles per hour on the freeway, doing a lot of passing, and a total cruise control test at 75 miles per hour, not passing anybody at all for maximum figure. 4 economy tests coming up, so don't go away. Okay, question of the day. How much money do you save in fuel if you get the hybrid or the V8? I did the math for you. If you're at 50,000 miles, 19 mpg versus 29 mpg, it's around 900 gallons you save. If you multiply by an average price of $5.5 a gallon, which is the common price right now, you're going to save approximately $5,000. That's the good news. But there is one little drawback a lot of the auto testers on YouTube won't tell you, and that is while the V8 costs $94,000, the hybrid runs $99,000, which is $5,000 more. So you take the $5,000 extra cost and compare it to the $5,000 fuel you save. The 50,000 mile mark is the break-even point. Many car enthusiasts are willing to spend $5,000 to make a car go quicker. Not too many are willing to spend $5,000 for a car that drives slower. So for them, the V8 makes sense, the hybrid does not. On the other hand, there are some drivers out there who want a nice, expensive car but have no interest in going quick. They'll never drive over the speed limit. They just want something nice, comfortable. For them, a V8 engine would be a waste. This hybrid engine would be more suitable for them. 2 types of drivers for 2 types of engines. Take your pick. So before we go for our 1-week test drive, let's look at some of the options we have and positive and negative features in the cabin. And yes, as we do in all our videos, we'll be taking these headlights out in the dark and see how they perform. That's at the end of the video. You see we have 3 bulbs in there. Be interesting to see how potent they are. On the outside, going in, the carbon fiber roof, yours for $2,400. A carbon fiber rear wing spoiler, $2,750. $600 for carbon fiber scuff plates, but nobody seems to know where they are. I think that's on the rocker panels there. Sport seats, $900. The Enclair Era sport seats, if I'm pronouncing that right. And there's something called the Enclair Era Manhattan Hinge package and the Bespoke Build package. I never did find out what that completely consists of. A lot of it has to do with this interior. In any case, they're each $3,600 a piece. But in any case, let's just go with the bottom line, $115,285. What a deal. And of course, taxes not included. I'll have to say this 2-tone leather trim sure is nice, regardless of what they're charging for it. And by the way, part of this package includes these large 21-inch wheels and 21-inch tires. And they are run flats, which is good because there's not much room in the trunk. Only 5 cubic feet to be exact. That's why I have my tire repair kit back here. There are 4 things I don't like about the LC500 series, most of them in the cabin. So just get that out of the way. Number 1, the rocker panels down here are wider than the Panama Canal. You have a lot of exposed body work out here getting dirt, and this all gets on your legs when you're getting in and out of the vehicle. You just have to live with it. It's a sports car. And number two, the rear seats are a joke for groceries or monkeys. I mean, there's no leg room. I guess you could saw someone's legs off. Show only. And Lexus did away with the swizzle stick control for the infotainment system and did this finger touch pad, which is very annoying to use, especially when you're moving, but takes practice. And last but not least, there's a lot of shiny chrome parts in here, maybe fake chrome or real chrome, but either way it reflects the sun at certain angles, like the controls here for the climate. I'm in the shade right now, you can't see the reflections, but once I start driving, you'll see how it goes right in my eyeball at certain times of the day. I don't know why we need shiny chrome in vehicles, it just doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, almost forgot. There's another one, the sun visors. They're way too small. They don't slide back and forth to block out the sun. This is all you get. So window tint might be in your future. Alright, those are my gripes, as minor as they are. Now let's look at the good features. The auto-dimming mirror has a disconnect switch. Thank you. The quality of materials and workmanship is outstanding, as always on the Lexus LC500 series. And here's a knob for your drive modes. We got Comfort, Eco, Normal, Sport, Sport Plus. And the dial always changes when you do that. It looks better in the dark, as we'll do later on in the video. Even though this is a CVT transmission, we still get pedal shifters on the steering wheel for changing gears manually. On the steering wheel where they belong, not on the steering column like the Italians do, which is a stupid place to put them. Here they're always accessible, tip of your fingers, whether you're going a straight line or taking corners. And yes, you do shift taking corners, regardless of what some people say. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Lexus has always had excellent electric power steering. The one on this particular vehicle is even better. Now, whether it's because they made improvements or because of the heavier wheels and tires, I don't know, but I'm certainly not complaining. Very, very nice. The only problem with 21-inch wheels and tires, they usually disrupt the ride quality on vehicles, but we'll take some speed humps, as we always do in our test, and see what happens. And we'll do that right now. 15 miles per hour. Bump number 1. Pretty smooth for run flat tires, which are usually not very good at this. Here comes hump number 2. The third one. And the big kahuna nasty one. A bit of thumping from the rear end, but other than that, pretty smooth, surprisingly, for run flat tires. As for myself, I prefer the power of the V8 engine in the LC500, but this V6 hybrid's really not that slow, especially if you put it in the Sport Plus mode. Opens up that exhaust. Whoa! It certainly sounds pretty good. Nice brakes. At least the exhaust sounds fast in sport mode, even if you're not going that quick. And here's the reflection off the chrome pieces I was talking about earlier. Right in your eyeball. I'm not picking on Lexus here. A lot of manufacturers like shiny chrome in their interiors, and it really needs to go away. Now I've got a bunch on the climate control buttons as well. A minor gripe, not a deal killer. I guess I could put some tape over it. But we got to mention it because it's there. By the way, all our fuel economy testing is going to be done at temperatures ranging from 100 degrees to 112 degrees in the daytime, around 85 to 90 at night. Yeah, it's hot out here. So they claim 26 mpg in the city, 29 mixed. I was getting around 22 to 23 in heavy city traffic. And with 50% city and 50% expressway, we're now at 26.3 mpg. We got a few more fuel economy tests coming up, so don't go away. Alright, let's take this LS500 hybrid out and do some corners. I noticed when I put it in the sport mode, it sounds a lot louder on the exhaust tips. You never know it's a hybrid. And the steering is definitely better than previous ones I've had for some reason. Maybe it's the larger tires. But it doesn't matter whether you get the V8 or the hybrid version, you still get a pretty good suspension either way. That hugs the road pretty good. And that's good because there's a lot of wildlife out here we don't want to hit. Once you get rolling, this vehicle moves up pretty good for a 6-cylinder. The hybrid system has a lot of torque in the right spots, and that certainly helps. Driving like this in the V8 LC500 sucks a lot of gas. About 13 to 14 miles to the gallon on this road. Should be interesting to see what this hybrid does. I think this exhaust sound is fake, but it sounds alright, so I'm not going to complain too much. 19.9 mpg on this road, driving like this. Still better than what I get on the V8. Don't complain. And by the way, this is why you need the paddle shifters on the steering wheel if you're going to shift manually, because I can reach them in corners like this. If they're on the steering column, I cannot reach them in corners like this. And don't send me an email telling me you don't shift in corners, because on roads like this, yes you do. And often. We're going to take this out on the freeway, approximately 100-mile trip, doing at least 75 miles per hour. It is a 3-day holiday weekend, 4th of July, so I might have to do a lot of passing from the slowpokes on the road. But at 2 o'clock in the morning, it might not be an issue. As a rule, there are 2 ways to destroy the ride quality on a vehicle. Number 1 is to install some large 21-inch wheels and tires. The other is to install some run flats. And here we have the worst of both worlds, 21-inch run flats. In spite of that, the ride quality is reasonably good, as we saw on the speed bumps. Unfortunately, there's one thing you can't get rid of, and that is noise. Run flats are very noisy, so are large tires. There's nothing serious here, just some mild rumbling coming up from the vehicle, especially on rough pavement, but I can live with it. However, it does slightly detract from the quietness you expect in a luxury ride. But it is a sports car, so I'll give it a pass. I've also noticed when cruising around 75 miles per hour, the engine is pulling a low 1100 to 1300 RPMs, which is extremely low, which should result in extremely high fuel economy, in theory. We'll find out at the end of the trip. As you can see for yourself. Okay, 120 miles, 28.6 mpg. I was getting 32 mpg on level ground, but we climbed 1,000 feet in elevation. It dropped down to 28.6. That is my official number for now. Alright, let's reset the computer and take a return trip. See if we can bump up the numbers a little bit. This vehicle has radar-operated cruise control, a feature I cannot stand myself. Fortunately, you can override it by pushing a button down and get standard cruise control, like we're using now. Thank you, Lexus, for giving us the choice. And these headlights do a great job of lighting up the road at night. We'll be doing a complete headlight test and night drive at the end of this video, so you might want to stick around to the end. Alright, trip going up, we got 28.5 mpg, trip coming down 34.1 mpg. Overall, that averages out for 31 mpg for our highway trip. Let's review the fuel economy figures. As a rule, hybrids get better mileage the more you drive in the city, less mileage the more you drive on the freeway. As we can see, they're claiming the opposite here, lower in the city, higher on the highway, and we did find that to be true. However, my actual numbers were low 20s in the city, medium 20s in mixed, and around 31 mpg on the freeway. And this was in temperatures ranging from 85 to 114 degrees. That might make a difference, especially if you're somewhere where it's cooler. So what's my take on the Lexus LC500 hybrid after a week of driving? Well, if you drive in a hurry, you'll want the V8, and if you don't drive in a hurry, the hybrid will work just fine. Take your pick. Either way you're driving a vehicle, it's not going to fall apart when the warranty goes out. You can't say that about the European competition. Keep that in mind. Okay, it's dark enough to see what these lights do. Right now I have the low beams on, but all 3 bulbs are lit. Let's see what happens when I turn on the high beam. Well, definitely brighter, but I don't see any more bulbs lighting up. And here we got the taillights, and the license plate lights up pretty good. And the emergency flashers are separate from the taillights. They light up pretty good. Side view mirror lights up. Easy to see from the front. The front and rear lights don't get in the way. But of course, if you turn the headlights off, they're still easier to see. And here's how the vehicle lights up as far as the controls go. And all the seat and mirror controls on the door panel. Put the vehicle in reverse, and this is what we see. Kind of a small screen considering all the room we have. If you want to tell the time, here's your clock. Okay, getting to the headlights, that's what we're here for. Low beam. Lights up pretty good. Good height too, above the bushes, that's a good sign. Go to high beam. Wow. That's some bright light there. Now we got the dark dingy street on low beam. High beam lights up the road pretty good. If you watch my videos, you know I do not like auto dimming mirrors, although if there's a disconnect switch, I'll give it a pass, and we have a disconnect switch right there. Green on, black off. I can live with that. Well, we got some hot action going on here. Woo! He's doing about 110. Here comes his buddy. Must be having a sale on donuts tonight. Wow, this doesn't look good. Well, all those cop cars for one vehicle. These headlights do a pretty good job lighting up road signs. I've got a low beam and now high beam. Pretty potent. Okay, I said we were going to do some night driving, so let's take this out in the boonies and take some tight mountain curves. As we can see, the headlights do a great job of lighting up the pavement all the way down the road. And here we're entering a dip with the low beam. That's pretty good. Doesn't disappear in the little creases like some headlights do. And with the brights on, no problem whatsoever. For the money they're charging for this vehicle, I thought we'd get active headlights. That means they turn the same direction as the steering wheel is being turned. You take corners, turn right, and the headlights turn right and see around the corners, but I guess we don't get that on the Lexus LC, but that's okay. These beams are strong enough. That's good because there's a lot of wildlife out here. I've seen a couple of mountain lions. Wouldn't want to hit them, but the worst is hitting a skunk, and a lot of them out here too. That is not a very pleasant experience. Trust me. I'd rather hit the mountain lion. I'd rather hit none of them, frankly. Okay, if we can see the jail sign on low beam, we're doing pretty good. And yep, I can see it. High beams. Now we can really see it. So I say these headlights definitely pass the test. I don't care if they turn with the steering wheel or not. There's more than enough light for any situation, so no complaints from me. And by the way, when you change the drive mode in the dark, you get the light show on the gauge panel. Here we got normal, sport, S, sport plus, comfort, eco. A lot more impressive at night than it is in the daytime. And here's what the heads-up display looks like at night. I keep forgetting to turn it off, in case you were wondering what that flashing was. We were driving earlier. And you turn that off with the switch down here. There you go.